Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. Welcome to you online, too. And I wonder why I have a ladder here. Oh, I know I'm short. Okay, there we go. Raise up in the world. Well, here at Unity, we are in a practice of figuring out the best way for each of us to stay safe. Some of you are viewing us at home, and us in here, we're looking at namasteing each other and wearing masks when we're wandering around, and we'll get through this together. Also, the coffee bar is open, so please help yourself over there. It's just ready, hot, and waiting for you, and there's also some cold water over there at the drinking fountain. During this time of tremendous transition in our world and at Unity, we just need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. The board needs to hear from you. What do you need? We keep tweaking and making things just improving as we go along. One of the things we've added some of the blinds here, as much as we love the vision, some people were having difficulty with the light shining in their eyes, and also it's better for the camera work. Michael, our AV guy, is very happy with that. So what I need right now is a prayer of wholeness. I mean, we can all use health and wholeness, but I just got this bloody nose before we started here a minute ago. So let's affirm together. In this moment, we bless the miraculous working of our bodies. Conceived in divine mind, our bodies sparkle with health and vitality. We lay claim to our physical strength and resilience as we adopt practices to maintain and grow our health. Every day we are guided to make choices and take actions that support the natural wholeness of our physical being. And so it is. Amen. I may have stopped it. Yeah, good. Okay. Unity operates out of a mission to spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, each other, and all creation. And our mission flows out of our vision of seeing a world that is powerfully transformed through a growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. For me, shared is the key word here, that it's not like finding the right answer, there's a right and perfect path, but allowing ourselves to honor ourselves and each other, whatever path we're on, wherever we are on that path. So I'd like to begin with an ecumenical series of affirmation, if you join with me. The enlightenment of the Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. With that, I invite you to join with me in a little song to set the tone for some prayers that are coming up.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
I love how, as we join together in that song, we just bring all of our energies into a synchronicity that's a very powerful force within this room. So we'd like to begin by blessing our neighbors, both those near and far, all the neighbors on this beautiful blue planet. There's a lot of stuff going on, particularly on my heart today are immigrants, whether they're at the Mexican border, whether they're in Afghanistan, all over the world as people are moving, looking for that new home, that place where there's safety and peace. Whatever's on your heart this morning, we just join together as we affirm. We pray with understanding and compassion in our hearts, knowing divine light shines even in the darkest moments. We bless the continued work of the world's essential workers and all those devoted to serving others in times of need. We bless those in grief, whatever their loss, knowing God is their strength. We lift our gaze to remember our shared humanity, our unity of spirit. Centered in God's divine presence within, we know the truth for each person in our world neighborhood. We are guided by wisdom arising in love as we act in ways that foster peace and wholeness for all. And so it is. Amen. And one more prayer, and that prayer is for Unity Spiritual Center, which is you and me. So let's affirm together. Each of us, as the Unity Spiritual Center community, embrace our journey of spiritual growth. We are in the midst of our grand opening as a greater expression of love, a force for good in our neighborhood. We invest in emanating peace and harmony through unrelentless kindness to ourselves and others. Hand in hand, heart to heart, we delight in co-creating a beloved community. And so it is. Allah, Shalom, Amen, Namaste. This is the first Sunday in October, so we like to celebrate birthdays. So if it's your birthday today, this month, not today, I know it's Maggie's birthday today, but anybody with an October birthday, come on up, and we have some special cards for you. Yeah, and then we get to sing to you. You have to put up with our singing. Yeah, Chris, okay, here we go. I know, such choices. Special birthday message. Okay, just turn around and and win.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. Yay, another one. Awesome. Well, I got a question for you this morning. What does your body need most right now? If it's the bathroom, it's through those doors. But just, share with you, what does your body need right now? Maybe it's a coffee, maybe it's a rest, you're ready to take a nap, whatever that is. So just take a moment and share at your table, and you at home, think about that. What does your body need right now? Maybe you need to get up and stretch. Maybe you need a drink of water.
I always bring 32 ounces of water every time I come. By the time service is over, I've usually finished it.
Hey.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Say, God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We
Come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Say namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Schmidt, your platform assistant for the day. Today's daily word is faith, inspired by the book of Hebrews. Now, faith is the conviction of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith is our guiding light. It keeps us hopeful when we're tempted to doubt and cheerful when we might otherwise feel gloomy. Faith tells us that even when the sky appears cloudy, the sun is still shining brightly above the clouds. Faith gives us a secure footing in the present as we plan for the future. Faith is the assurance that we are never alone, that everything we dream and do is divinely inspired. Every step we take in the direction of our aspirations is fueled by faith that they can come to pass. All the wisdom, power, love, and strength of God are ours to express as only we can. Leaving timidity and hesitancy behind, we use these divine attributes boldly and with confidence. Faith shows us the way forward. Let us affirm together, through faith, I create the good I desire. This month we focus on Unity's core value of integrity. Integrity is our inner sense of wholeness, deriving from qualities such as honesty and consistency of character. Integrity is the freedom of transparency, the unveiling of our authenticity in what we do and say what we do. Living in integrity is a reflection of our oneness with ourselves and with God. Our word is impeccable because we are honest with ourselves and others. Our actions are kind, loving, and inclusive because we embrace our ability to be God expressing. Let us affirm our integrity statement together. We apply unity principles by making and keeping our agreements in thought, word, and action. Our Sunday services are hybrid experiences available to you both on location and online, whichever works for you. Live stream and recordings of the services are on our website and YouTube. We are offering a variety of small group classes online, in person, and hybrid. Information on these can be found on our new information stand located by the south windows. Point towards them. Details can also be found on our website, Facebook, and in our weekly e-news. Our prayer ministry team continues to be active and available to hold you and your loved ones in prayer. Prayer requests can be placed in the prayer box, which have been relocated just behind the beige sofas, electronically, through the website, or with a phone call to the church. SALT is our Sunday adult learning time and meets at 9:30 each Sunday in the activity room off the sanctuary. Next week at SALT, we have a special guest, Lori DeBruin, owner of Chrysalis Reflexology, Hypnosis and Enrichment Center, to talk about the importance of self-love in the healing process. There is no charge, but love offerings are welcome to support our facilitators. For those of you unfamiliar with A Course in Miracles, Carol Maynard is offering a 4-week introductory course to familiarize you with the basic concepts beginning Monday, October 11th. More on the information rack. Next Saturday is our grand opening celebration with tours and a concert and free refreshments. Come on out and meet our neighbors. The festivities continue to next Sunday with a service celebrating friendship. Plan to join us and invite a friend. Our concert features 7 of our favorite singers plus our wonderful Unity band. There is no charge for the concert, but we're collecting for the food bank, food or financial donations. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday for a most Memorial Day. And I do want to point out, if you bring food for the food bank, please don't bring anything that has expiration dates. Make sure or that the expiration date is passed, I should say. So check the expiration date, otherwise they won't use it. And things in jars, they don't want things in glass jars. Cans and boxes are the best for them. Following the service, we invite you to join us for fellowship, as well as to familiarize yourself with our tables over there. Our new information rack has details on all our activities. There is a small self-serve bookstore, as well as a Teams table over to the side. Point to indicate wall. Can't say I don't follow directions. And now I'd like to welcome Selena and Thomas Ruhala to share some inspirational music with us.
Oops. The beauty of live church, live theater, live. We're live. Good morning, everyone. Hello, it's so wonderful to be back here. Thomas and I love coming here, love your message. And the song we're going to sing for you is a love song, actually, by the wonderful Jason Mraz. It's one of my favorites. And as I was thinking about this song and listening to it not just the other day, because we had to rehearse to get ready for doing this a few weeks ago, I was listening to this beautiful message that Jason Mraz wrote for us and thinking, what a wonderful message to hear from the point of view of God speaking to us. So I invite you all to listen to these lyrics as if God was speaking to you. And then, how can we translate this beautiful message to each other, to all of humanity, especially in these challenging times that we're faced with? And let's not give up on each other. Let's not give up on humanity. We can rock this. So here we go.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. Oh, there's so much they hold, just like them old stars. I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? Well, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love, still looking up.
And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up. No, I won't give up.
No, I'm not
on us.
giving up.
God knows I'm tough.
I am tough.
Enough.
I am
We
loved.
got lots
You're
to
alive.
learn.
We are
God
loved.
knows we're worth
And
it.
we're worth it.
I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
What a perfect song. Yeah, I don't think there's a love song that's ever been written that couldn't be one between us and God. That was a great pick, Selena, except for the ones that you done me wrong. I take those off the list. We are coming to the end of a series we've been working on for the last few weeks, inspired by Valerie Kerr's book, See No Stranger. And she talks about, in this world that seems so dark, there's so many things going wrong, so many trials and tribulations, but suppose the darkness is not the darkness of the tomb, but the darkness of the womb. That in this darkness that we're getting ready to birth something new. And that, boy, that just so sticks with me. It's just such a different perspective. So the first week, we talked about loving others and to look at others with that curiosity, to wonder about them, and to think of it, and there's only one, that those others are just parts of us we don't know yet. Just a part of me that I don't yet know. And that's pretty easy. We've been told, every religious faith says, to love one another, be loving and kind to one another. But then there's the other, the opponents, those people that have it wrong, that are outside our circle. And to put out that challenge to kind of revolve that rage, that anti-whatever, into that energy of love. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is simply deep listening. So many times when people think differently than us, our ears shut down. I don't know what it is. Those little muffled things go on, and every word that we hear is more like an arrow. We're not listening at all. We just wanted to get through talking. And so last week, the challenge was to risk being changed by deep listening. Because if you really listen to others, something happens within us. It's a risky business. You're going to get changed. You're not going to be the same you were before you really heard what the other people were saying. And then I ended with the idea of examining ourselves, since the way we see the world is really a reflection of us, of our inner stuff. That when we bump up against somebody that's really pushing our buttons, guess who has the buttons? We have the buttons, right? So if we start examining who we are, it helps us to understand why we're trying to put these, what we call opponents, outside of our circle. So in the examine, I left you with a question to think about, when did you feel at home in your body, at home in the world? What was that about? What made you feel at home and connected? And really to start living in those questions so that we can be more cognizant of the answers, because what I think we all really are striving to do is to create that beloved community. And the only way to create the beloved community is to understand that we are in the beloved community, that we see every other person as a beloved, So loving ourselves is the next step, right? This is probably the biggest and the hardest of all the work that we have to do. Emerson said, our job is to get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. You know, our bloated nothingness out of the way. Because it's true. We were born so pure and so perfect and so loving and so joyful. And then we get this bloated nothingness that we pick up stories along the way. We pick up misperceptions. How many times have we seen something wrong and thought for sure that we were right about that wrongness? And even the Buddha said that to enjoy health, happiness, and peace, one must discipline one's mind, what you think you become. I didn't know Buddha was unity, but he certainly sounds like it. So understanding that, see, if we don't get that bloated nothingness out of the way, those stories that we tell ourselves that we're not safe or that we're not enough or any of those are the thoughts of what we create. So if we want peace and happiness and harmony, we need to start thinking peace, happiness, and harmony and let the other stuff go. Because all of us, we really want that world that is more peaceful, that is more harmonic, that is really the beloved community, that we all have that ability to live well, meaning to live at peace, to live in connection, to not feel isolated or alone, to not feel left out. But to really understand we are the one, we are part of that one, and to be able to live it. So finding ourselves is a very interesting journey, and Unity's basic belief is that there's only one power and one presence in the universe. Whatever you want to call it. There's only one, not us and everybody else. So there's only one present, how can there be others? And even beyond that, there's only one present, how can we be anything but that one presence? You know, we're often another to ourselves. There's a part of ourselves that we don't own, that we'd kind of push off to the side. And so I came across a story in the British BBC yesterday about Bihan Mutlu. I may be butchering that name, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it here in Lansing, Michigan this morning. He's from Turkey. And he had gone out for a party, and he'd been with some friends, and he had imbibed quite a bit and didn't make it home. He fell asleep at a friend's house. And his family got very worried about them, and they called the town constable, whatever they have over there in Turkey, and they went on this search for him because his family was sure that he was dead. Something had happened to him, he had an accident or whatever. And so he gets out, it's the morning after, and he sees all this activity going on in this cute little town of his, so he joins right in, and he's out there with the search party, helping them search, and then he hears them calling his name. Bihan Mutlu, and he goes, here I am. He had joined the search party for himself. And between the two red jackets there, the guy in the beige, that's him. That's Bihan. But I thought, how appropriate that is. Aren't we always looking for ourselves? And here we are, right here, looking out here, and we're right here. Didn't have to go very far for that one. So look at where we are. That's where we are. Wherever we're looking for ourselves, that's where we are. But when we start looking out there, we get into that story that is imperfect, that is in comparison to others as opposed to owning our true self. There was some very interesting stories on NPR this week about Instagram and the impact it's having on our youth, especially girls, and especially girls that are in that 12 to 14 age. Because they start living so much in that Instagram world of perfection, they so consider themselves imperfect to such a degree that suicide rates have increased dramatically in that. That's that looking for ourselves out there as opposed to really honoring what we have in here. There was a wonderful piece that came out on Facebook. It was a poem about having a talk with yourself, and it says, today I asked my body, which is kind of what she needed, which is kind of a big deal, considering my journey is not asking that very much. Have we all had those mornings where we go, okay, what do we need? So do we need maybe more water, protein, greens, more yoga, more supplements, more movement, more sun, more singing? What do you need here? Really nice thing to do. But then we go and look in the mirror, and another script may take place in our minds. Okay, Sharon, not too bad for 73, but, geez, too bad that wasn't a little tighter. Oh, golly. Belly, I've been talking to you for years about being a little flatter here, right? And, oh, look at this. Look what's behind me. Geez. One would never think it would hurt when I fell with this much padding behind me. Body, couldn't you just kind of tighten that up? And of course, tightening up and lifting up the gravity over time. And, as I got older, geez, my ears are getting longer. And the nose grows too. Couldn't we kind of stop that? Wow, that script we have. And I've heard the guys too, getting a little bear back there on top of my head, It's all those conditioned wishes that form a bundle of never quite rightness. If it was just a little bit more this way, a little bit more that way. So, the body whispers back to her in this poem and says, could you love me like this? Could you love me like this? Could we love ourselves just the way we are? Perfectly imperfect. Perfectly wonderful. Perfectly growing and changing. Just the way we are in this moment. I told you this was the hard part of the work. Pretty easy when it's others. We can make up a lot of stories about them, but when it gets down to home here, it's a little more difficult. In the book, Valerie Kerr quotes Thomas Merton, who said, there is a pervasive form of contemporary violence to which the idealist most easily succumbs. Activism and overwork. And though she's talking about social activism here, substitute what that resonates with you. It might be dedication to your family. It might be whatever those things that are so righteous and just for you that really you get caught up in. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicts, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone and everything is to succumb to violence. Whoa, that took me back. What do you mean? I'm the good guy here. I'm the good Samaritan. I'm helping everybody by the side of the road. Yeah, so what if, I'm kind of stressed out and didn't get any sleep or whatever that might be. He says the frenzy of our activism neutralizes our work for peace. It destroys our own inner capacity for peace. It destroys us in the fruitfulness of our own work because it kills the root of inner wisdom, which makes work fruitful. I will admit there are days that I have so much on my to-do list. The walking on the treadmill gets put off till tomorrow, and the prayer time. I don't have time to pray. Too many things on the list. Too many slings. And because those all the things went through my head last night, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. So I'm already starting down negative. I mean, we've all done that. And to think of that as violence in our world when we don't offer the care and the kindness that is needed. Talking to our own body, talking to our own spirit, to be there. There is that great commandment that supersedes the 10 Commandments. It's so simple. The commandment that Jesus shared, he said, you will love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your mind, and you will love your neighbor as yourself. Lovely. I quote this all the time, but the key is that last word, as yourself. Most of us, I fall short on that. I don't love myself as much as I should. Much easier to love others. I only see the perfection in them. I look in the mirror for me and see all the imperfections. Yeah, I'm human. Loving your neighbor as yourself, it means you got to start by loving yourself. So how are we loving ourselves? In the tradition that I was raised, somehow I was told it wasn't good to love yourself, that there was something very egotistical around that. Always look at others. Forget about you. Just look out there. So suppose we turned it from self-love to loving ourselves. So it's really about that self-love where you get so egotistical, where you know the whole world only centers around you and it's to do your bidding. But loving yourself enough to be part of the world, not in that violent way of running to and fro and being overcommitted and trying. We get so trying, we really are trying to other people. but to be able to be in that peaceful state, to love ourselves enough to say no. Unity people really have difficulty with saying no. I mean, we want to help, you know. Our heart is so big, we have that porous heart. But no can actually be loving yourself. And going back to, we talked about a couple weeks ago that love is a labor. Love isn't just the fluffy Valentine thing. It's a labor that has substance to it, that you have to make a conscious choice to do this, a conscious choice to be in the space of mind and heart. And as I've been thinking about love, because a lot of people say, you know, I love you, have those, they say the right words. But for me, the highest expression of that love is really the idea of kindness and respect. I can be kind to somebody and respect somebody. And then when I take that back to me, how kind am I to myself? How kind are you to yourself? How much do you respect yourself? How many times when you know you're on empty, but you think you can get just a couple more miles out of yourself, right? Not the kindest things that we do to ourselves. This wonderful little quote says, to discover your true self, you have to listen deep down inside you to the rhythm of your own breath. The rhythm of your own breath. That was, some breath tingles. I love that. There. And you know, this goes back right in the beginning of the Bible. It talks about God formed man of the dust of the ground, and man, I'm sure they meant human, from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living creature. Right in the beginning of the stories of creation, the importance of breath, for us to learn to hear the rhythm of our own breath, our own aliveness. And metaphysically, this verse, we can look at nostrils kind of represents perception or acuteness. If you think about your nostrils, what you breathe in, you know, our sensory perceptions of smell are one of the most key ones for memories, because instead of, like, our eyes go to one part in the brain, but the nose goes all over the brain. So we've all had that experience. You're walking by and all of a sudden you catch a whiff of a flower, and it's like a flood of memories come back. There's a feeling, there's an essence, because it triggers stuff all over in your memory banks here. And breath, metaphysically, in this instance, can be seen as a mental movement. So if we look at this verse, it can be thought of as the mental movement of the soul vitalized to the life of God. In other words, the rhythm of our breath, what brings us in harmony with that oneness, that one creation. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale, yeah. Breath is something we can take literally, breathing. It's a really good thing to do, and metaphorically. And as I got thinking about how we talk about our breath, you know, talk about what I might say to myself in the mirror, think about what we all say about breath. I need to catch my breath. Where did it go? You know, how do we catch our breath? It reminds me of the phone calls we used to make as kids. You do the crank calls at your refrigerator running, you better go catch it. Yeah. Yeah. If we take a breath, where are you taking it from? Or waste my breath. How can we waste our breath? Draw a breath. Any of you artists out there, bated breath. Second breath. Take away my breath. Save my breath. Where would we save our breath? Under our breath. Hold my breath. This was one of my favorite. Holding my breath was one of my favorite things to do as a kid. I found that if my parents wouldn't give me both halves of the popsicle because it would melt and make a mess, if I held my breath until I turned blue and passed out, I could get a lot of attention. So, you know, breath is a very powerful thing. And the most wonderful thing about breathing is that we breathe together. Now, granted, physically distanced, we breathe together right now. But that's really the spiritual community center of our beingness, finding that rhythm as a community to breathe together. So how are you breathing into breathing you? How are you breathing into you? When we do shallow breaths, physiologically, it activates the that nervous system, sympathetic, nervous system. What this is your fight or flight response. This is that you are all systems go, you are lighted on fire, you are ready to run, to fight, to freeze. This is a very constricting place to be. Everything is just vibrating with this kind of erratic energy. When you take deep breaths, it connects with the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve, which connects to all of your organs and brings it into this calm state of being. I don't know if you noticed, but a couple slides ago when I said inhale, exhale for a couple times, there was just this relaxing in the room. It was kind of a strange feeling. There was just kind of a, to go in there. Just a couple deep breaths, and whatever is going on erratically, all of a sudden comes into that settled in point. One of the holiest things we could do. And if you like control, guess what? We can control our breath. All those times you feel out of control, we have the major thing to life totally under our thumb. We get total control over it. We can hold it, we can chase it, we can take it, we can release it. When we breathe, what happens not just in our body, but in our mind is that we create space. And so when we can't think about what's going on, we've hit the stumbling block, we can't find the resolution or the solution, when we slow into that deep breathing, we get to think differently. Our imagination isn't that constrictive state. It's now relaxed out there. It really, we become more attuned to the pleasure in life. Is there any of us that never had the experience of stepping out on an autumn morning like this and you take a deep breath? You go, oh, wow, it just smells so good. It's almost like breathing in sunshine. There's such a peace. And when you have one of those moments at the beginning of the day, you know it's going to be a great day. You are centered. You are into that very calm, relaxed state. Throw it my way, it's okay, because it's just going to bounce right on off me. You're right there, really that freedom of joy. And I think back to the football games where people making protest, where taking a knee is a sign of respect. But I think when we're into that protest, one of the strongest things we can do is simply to take a breath. Instead of being in that fight mode, to be in that peace and calm mode, that beloved community mode, that rhythm of our breathing, not just of ourselves, but all together. So in responding to the darkness of the womb, what happens when we're giving birth? For those of you who haven't been in the birthing room, they tell you to take a deep breath and then push. It's not a pretty process, but it's worked for all these years. So I was looking at PUSH as kind of an acronym, and P would be for pray, in the sense of making our connection with the divine. That we are more than just this body that we sometimes beat up on. That we are more than even our individual thoughts, that we are connected to that one consciousness, that oneness of the whole world. And you use our 12 powers. Unity talks about the 12 gifts, the divine faculties within us. Nothing we have to get. We have them within us, our faith, our strength, our wisdom, our understanding, our zeal to do things. The power of our own spoken word, that essence of life within us, elimination, the divine order flowing through our lives that may not be to our script, but everything works out so wonderfully. Use these faculties that we have within us right now. Then as to seek to be curious. Curious about others, curious about ourselves. You ever ask yourself, why did I do that, right? Why did I say that? We are very curious beings to ourselves. And then for the H, well, of course, we're talking about breathing, so you want to say inhalation. But I want to throw it out to you, this new word, halation. You ever heard of halation, Greg? Maybe you did, because it's a photography term, actually. And it's when you allow the light to go outside of the boundaries. Oh, no, it's not on there. Okay. The light to go outside of the boundaries. It makes a soft edge around the picture. But I love the idea of halation with ourselves, to let our light go outside of the boundaries of this body. To push, to let the light, not to hide it under the bushel, but to let the light go out under those boundaries. So I thought this would be a great time that we just do a little breathing meditation today. I'm going to invite Greg to come up and lead us in some songs so that we can breathe together as we sing together as we be the beloved community together. Oh, sound. Oh, there we go. Okay. I did. Sorry, they didn't recognize my ending coming up. Breathe, it's okay, we're right on time.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free. As I continue walking in this mystery.
I just invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And as you turn inward, silently ask your body what it needs right now. What do your hands need to feel relaxed? Are your feet comfortable? Maybe you need to stretch your neck a little bit or roll your shoulders back. What does your body need? We know it needs that breath, and so we take that deep, cleansing breath as we settle into that space of peace and calm and comfort. Allow these words to be the words of your own heart. Today, I turn my attention away from the problem and place it on the wellspring of divine love within and all about me. This is my prayer without ceasing, my acceptance of divine truth, that anything unlike the love and energy of infinite spirit is released from my body, my affairs, and my intentions. I am made whole again and again and again. And so I breathe from the diaphragm. Breathe in that soft belly, bringing that air deeply into my physical presence and releasing it fully. We think we've let that breath totally out. Try to let just a little bit more out, and then feel that breath rush back in to fill us, infill us with life, with calm, with wisdom and imagination. And if we feel any resistance to that full, complete inhale or that total exhale, let us move into our body and know that that is just a part of us we don't yet know that is expressing resistance. But a part of us that we are curious about, that we are ready to bring into not only the inhalation, but the halation, our light, shining on the shadow parts within. Our light bringing things to the surface of peace and calm, so that the turbulence can be loved into beingness. So if you're comfortable, take your first and second finger and put them in the center of your forehead, letting your other fingers just rest on your cheek. As we take some time to consciously breathe, taking a deep breath in to the count of 4, 2, holding for a count of 4, exhaling to a count of 4, holding for a count of 4. A beautiful cycle of breath, a beautiful cycle of being. I invite you to continue that for a couple more cycles at your own pace. Count as you breathe in, hold, exhale, and hold. As we drop our hand to our lap, we feel perhaps just slightly different, slightly lighter, slightly more connected. A simple process that is under our control to bring us that very state that we so urgently desire. As these words speak from your heart, I have a sharp awareness of the power of my thoughts. In my worthiness, I breathe. In my worthiness, I exhale. The beauty of my life is born of a conviction that I am worthy of all good, for I am one with all that is. I breathe and I push. I inhale love. I exhale anything less. I affirm that I am whole, content, and filled with love. I love myself enough to love others, to love my opponents, to love God. Allah, Shalom, Amen, Namaste.
Roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that kept me down.
Thank you, Greg. So, spiritual practice for the week. You're all going to get this one. Breathe. I know you got this down pat, but when you breathe, check yourself. See if there's any resistance, and check again. But don't forget to exhale. Okay, it works much better if you exhale. Speaking of breathing and the beautiful harmony that comes out of it, I'm excited to invite Selena to come up. You have a wonderful piece for us. Okay, you got your mic you want? Okay, turn it over to you.
many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. Everyone wants to make things right. So what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hand. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to talk about it, not enough to sing a song. We must walk the walk about it. You and I, do or die. We've got to try to get along. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And maybe we'll find true peace of mind if we always remember we can be kind.
Am I on? Okay. This is the time during our Sunday service when we engage in the sacred practice of generosity. As individuals, we take a moment to feel deep appreciation for the love, the kindness, and the support that blessed each of our individual lives. As a community, we enthusiastically express gratitude to everyone who has continued to support Unity through this most unusual time. It is because of our financial gifts and love offerings and the tremendous work of our teams of volunteers that this ministry continues to thrive. Our circle of generosity includes an act of gratitude for these many gifts as we share of our gifts with others. As a community for the fourth quarter of the year, we have chosen to share our gifts with 3 incredible organizations: Care for the Caregivers, which supports nurses, Potter Park Zoo, supporting animals, and Youth Haven, supporting our young people. Let us take a moment to immerse ourselves in deepest gratitude by singing, "I Am So Blessed."
I
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Generosity is a sacred exchange of giving and receiving. Because we are so blessed, it is with the joy and enthusiasm that we as individuals share our many blessings to complete the circle. Some of us prefer to share with Unity through gifts made online or through the mail. Others prefer to make our sacred exchange at a service. You can use the envelopes in the sunflower basket. They're clipped together with a binder clip. And when you are complete with blessing it, place it in the glass container on the table, which is this. We've kind of changed our procedure. Don't throw it in the sunflower basket. It's easier to spot in there. These envelopes will be safely collected by our ushers following the close of service. Let us celebrate the circle of prosperity by affirming together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. Let us join together in our closing song, I Choose Love, followed by the prayer of protection.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace on the planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. We choose love. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.